Hey everybody, BeyondDrewTV here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Green Hills Zoo. Today we're going to go ahead and continue to expand the entranceway, pretty much wrap it up entirely to the point where I'm pretty much liking it. The first little building that we are building here, it's a building everyone. Intense. The first building that we're doing here is like a wheelchair, kind of like scooter and stroller kind of rental there. Someone commented before, I believe it was Miss Dawn there. That was awesome of you to comment and kind of suggest that we might want to put a wheelchair rental area in, like, for scooters and strollers and all that. So they had recommended to put it off to the the time lapse is kind of spinning around in circles a lot, but near the entranceway, near that kind of concrete slab area off to the left of the entranceway. I'll show it off specifically, and actually we show off what we put there instead. But anyways, yeah, they said that we should put it over there. And while I thought it was a good idea, I kind of was messing around with it and thought, let's actually give it kind of its own building, because we do need to keep expanding out the entranceway just a little bit more. Again, this is pretty much wrapping up the entranceway, give or take. I didn't want to go much more than this, but yeah, overall I just thought this worked better for the rental of all that as an actual building there. So another thing that you're going to kind of see off and on, and I will position it later on, is a carousel cover for our grand carousel that we had put down in the previous episode there. I did not make this. I had every intention of making one my own, and I had started to do so, and it was turning out okay, but I kind of had a very specific idea in mind of like how I really wanted the carousel cover. There we go, I moved it forward a little bit. How I wanted the carousel cover to look. So I kind of, again, it wasn't coming together how I wanted it to. I'm not the best at making custom roofs. I really haven't done that a lot there. I need to practice with that a heck of a lot more. So I need to do that. But yeah, so I looked on the workshop, and actually another amazing, really great Planet Coaster creator. They stream Planet Coaster on Twitch. Sometimes they do stuff on YouTube, I believe, as well. But Cleve, he made this amazing looking carousel cover that you see there, and we'll look at that in more detail in the real time there. But big shout out to Cleve for just being very good at the game there and making this awesome carousel cover that fits pretty much right in. I didn't really have to do much editing to it, except for adjusting the entrance and exit queue points there, and other than that, the colors pretty much stayed the same. And actually, yeah, no, the colors stayed exactly the same, because it fit in almost, again, perfectly with everything. So but yeah, as we're expanding out our little wheelchair access area here, we just added on a little bit of a planter there, and we put in a an information building where the guests can come up and kind of buy the what are they, like the fast passes, right? So they probably won't have to access that building that much for this park, since we're gonna have like a grand total of, I've been thinking about it, and I think we're really gonna only have, let's see, let's count it out right now. We have the time. We have the grand carousel. I want to put in probably a junior coaster, and like a kiddie junior coaster. Like, think of the ones that you see at least here in the States. We have the dragon coaster that basically like goes around in circles like 3 or 4 times in the loop, and it like goes up a chain lift, turns, goes down, does like a bunny lift, turns, comes back into the station. That's it. I kind of want to do something like that, and Mr. Domez, who is an awesome contributor to our community park, and an awesome just community member and everything, he gave me a suggestion to look at a zoo called Wildlife World out in Arizona, and sure enough, out there they have this perfect kind of kiddie junior coaster that I want to go off of. So big thanks to Mr. Domez there for setting my eyes on Wildlife World there. So but yeah, so like I said, we're gonna have the mega carousel. Yeah, it's a mega carousel. No, the grand carousel, the junior kiddie coaster, and maybe like 3 or 4 other flat rides, and that's really pushing it, because again, like, this isn't, it's not a an amusement park. It's not a theme park. It's a zoo, right? So I've been streaming this once in a while on Twitch. I'll kind of stream like just small details that I want to put in that I don't think really justify a time lapse or anything like that. And then I have a lot of people come in there, make suggestions, which is always fantastic. I love it, because I can't think of everything there, but but you know, a lot of suggestions are like, oh, you should add in like, you know, a wooden roller coaster, or you know, I've seen this zoo in Europe that has an RMC, and it's like, yeah, no, I know those things exist. I'm not denying that those exist, because that always seems to be the confusion. That like, do you know that this exists in zoos? Like they have roller coasters in zoos. Like no, I understand. That's not where the confusion is. I think where the lost in translation part comes, where I don't want to put an RMC in a zoo funded by a city, because that's, I think, what's get lost is that this is a city zoo, right? So the entire, all of the funding that you have for this zoo is basically coming from like either people who donate or taxpayers' money, right? So a lot of those zoos that a lot of people are referring to, I can't speak for certain for like Europe and stuff like that, those zoos, but a lot of those zoos that have like big roller coasters and like a lot of flat rides and stuff like that, they're usually privately owned. Like if you're thinking of like Busch Gardens and stuff like that, that's a private owned, you know, adventure park slash zoo, or Animal Kingdom, right? That's privately owned by the Disney company. So the kind of zoo, again, that we're doing is like a city zoo. So this is a medium to, let's say, small size city with a population of, let's say, I don't know, 300,000 to 1 million people. That's small to medium. And you know, yeah, it's all funded by taxes and charitable donations by people like you. So yeah, that's kind of why I would love to build, like, you know, roller coasters and amusement park rides and all that fun stuff in a zoo and, you know, theme it up, but that's not what we're going for here. So hopefully that kind of clears up what I felt like was my fault for not explaining it enough, but hopefully that clears up some confusion there. So, but yeah, as we are going through our build here, what are we doing? We're paused. We're not even moving. Yeah, this is where we're picking up, and I'm adding on some other little details. This was a second time lapse there. This is a time lapse that is consisted of two different playthroughs here. This is the second playthrough, going back through a day or two later after completing the stroller and wheelchair rental building there, just kind of adding on some other little details. I wanted to put some height on it as well, and yeah, I think the added height there kind of really adds on to the build there as well. So, but yeah, as we move on with this, we're going to go ahead and it should transition over here pretty quickly to this new kind of covered area that we're going to be building. And I kind of won't talk too much about that and let the time lapse kind of play itself out. But yeah, we put up a covered area to the left of the entrance walkway here. That is kind of a new souvenir stand, and it worked out really nicely, but it did putting in this kind of souvenir area, and I'm waiting for the time lapse to switch over there at any moment, but it's just not going to, so I'm gonna just talk about future things as if they're happening now. But yeah, no, this future little area, I had to redesign kind of some of the entrance plaza, because again, it's a covered, like, outdoor souvenir kind of shop area where, you know, you can kind of get some quick gifts and stuff like that. But it made me realize that there were 3 gift shops after this was done. There's 3 gift shops in the in this entrance plaza there, and that's no bueno. That's no good. So I went ahead and kind of removed one of the gift shops, and we're going to convert it. I haven't done this yet, but it's just a random idea I had kind of right before recording here. We're going to convert this building just to the left here of the wheelchair rental area. That kind of square building to the left of the wheelchair rental, to the right of where we're building with these the glass doors there. We're going to convert that into a like a cafeteria building. I realized that we didn't have any sit down, any fast food, no food really, except we're going to put it in here. You'll see in just a little bit. We have some vending machines going in, but you know, that's not great food or anything. So, but yeah, this is gonna be like that building's gonna be converted into a cafeteria there. And that's something else I also need to do is we need to get some restrooms in here, because I forgot about restrooms. Oops. And I do that a lot. For those of you that watch my Parkitect series, which I need to upload another video of that Parkitect series. It's been a few weeks since then, and I miss Parkitect. It's a great game. But yeah, I always forget to put in like staff rooms and bathrooms and restrooms in Parkitect. So it's made its way from Parkitect over to Planet Coaster, it appears. So yay. But so yeah, I need to get a restroom in here like ASAP, and yeah, we need to get like a sit down restaurant. I don't want to get too many sit down restaurants. Again, I don't think this zoo would really require, you know, not that all sit down restaurants are fancy, right? But you know, they are on the upper scale of things if you're going to a sit-down restaurant in a amusement park or a theme park or a zoo of the like there. So we'll have like one near the beginning here of the entrance area, and then maybe one more like either like in the back. I kind of have this idea for when we build like our sea area, our oceans area. Maybe we can have like a sea like restaurant, you know, like seafood restaurant, because that fits perfectly. Like, hey, you know these animals that you just went through and saw and marveled at, why don't you go to this restaurant and eat them now? That's the best. I feel like there's a restaurant at Disney that actually does that at the seas with like, what is it, Finding a Nemo or something? Finding the Nemo. Wow. Finding Nemo. I feel like there's like an actual like seafood restaurant like right outside of the seas with Nemo and friends, which is just again, it's hilarious, where you get to ride and learn about all these fish, and then hey, afterwards, why don't you eat them? Because that's great. But yeah, so here we are making that that outdoor gift shop that I was referring to earlier, and you know, again, big shout out to all the Theme Makers Toolkit creators there, putting out these awesome plushie items and just kind of interior kind of items for gift shops and stuff like that. I've downloaded just about all of those kind of items. Had to be, you know, again, we have to be a little bit picky with what we do have, but the items that are here are some of the better optimized ones, I feel, on the workshop, so they are better to be used. But yeah, I'm giving myself a cap until mid-March area when I'm guessing we'll have another update for Planet Coaster. But yeah, around 30 to 40 Theme Maker Toolkit items seem to be about the limit there. I know it's kind of confusing times with the Theme Makers Toolkit, but I've talked to a few people at Frontier about it, you know, and just other people within the community kind of talking about it. And it seems like if you stay around 30 to 40 well optimized pieces, you'll be okay. If you start going over that, or if you have, you know, a bunch of items that are like 20 megabytes or 10 megabytes each kind of thing, you're going to run into issues. But all these items are really, really well made for the most part, really well optimized. You know, and again, thankfully, all of the actual animals that we will, oh yeah, by the way, I swear we will build animals. We actually will have zoo enclosures and like animal enclosures in this build. It'll happen, I swear. But I'm glad, I'm glad that all the animals that the amazing creators have made have been really, really well optimized. So I haven't really, you know, bogged down the computer so far there. So, and again, yeah, speaking of that, I do realize it kind of dawned on me as like, this is going to be what, episode 4, I believe? Yeah, I'm pretty sure episode 4, and we haven't had any animals in the zoo. We have 2 parrots. We have 2 parrots in the zoo, and they're like show parrots kind of thing. And I'll show that off afterwards. There, I can't remember if we showed that off in the last episode or not. But so yeah, technically we literally have 2 animals in the entire park, and they're not even in an enclosure. So for a zoo build, we're lacking on the zoo aspect, aren't we? But you know, that's how it usually goes with these kind of builds and stuff like that. You got to lay the groundwork, right? You got to lay the infrastructure and everything before you get to the bread and butter, as it were. But we are at the point at the build. And again, I'll show this off at the end of the time lapse, which is coming up here in just a few minutes. But yeah, when we jump into the real time there, I will show some of the additional things that I did get done without time lapsing it. Just sometimes it just doesn't work out. Either I forget to hit record because I'm a dingus, or like last week, for whatever reason, in the middle of my recording, something bumped it. I don't know, and it turned off the recording. But anyways, so I did get a little bit more done than what's shown in the time lapse. But yeah, when I show you that, from what I have done now, I'm comfortable enough with it that we can kind of have a jumping off point to go ahead and make our first exhibit there with our first animal and everything like that. You know, our first actual exhibit, like an enclosure and stuff like that. So, but yeah, no, I'm gonna let the time lapse kind of run here. Again, it only has like a minute or 2 or 3 minutes, whatever, it has enough time. So y'all enjoy the groovy tunes there, and then yeah, I will see you on the other side in the real time portion, and we'll kind of take a look at everything there. So enjoy. Alrighty, well, here we are live in the park here. So let's go ahead and kind of look at the, like I said, little details here and there that I went ahead and added in that weren't on the time lapse there. But here's a closer look at our new kind of overhang section here. Kind of explaining this a little bit more. I know this almost looks a little bit random, but the idea here is that this was like maybe a little bit of a more modern enhancement or addition to the zoo there. So yeah, they wanted to just kind of use up this area over here. Maybe there's just nothing over here really except for concrete. So they got this really awesome color scheme. And you know, just a lot of concrete columns, got some fans in there. These are from the Theme Maker's Toolkit as well, by the way. But yeah, set up this little outdoor market area there. So we have that, and on top of that we also have some lockers over here mimicking again these just so great colors. So yeah, there you go, there's your locker rental. And oh wow, the sound effects from these are great. I haven't heard the sound effects from that before. But yeah, your little touchscreen thing there, pay your money, and you know, there you go. So there's that. We'll go ahead and turn around here to see some of the additional things added in here. So you can see this is emptied out now. I don't think I showed this off too much before, but there were gift shop interior things here. So this is emptied out, ready to be moved into by a new vendor for food and stuff like that there. But we'll leave everything else the same. I like how these lights kind of worked out there. These are just art shapes here with lights put in them there. So kind of held up by the cables. Kind of turned out well. So there's that. There's your administrative office there. Close-up look of the stroller wheelchair rental. And again, I like how this looks right down here. You have a really nice view here. Even if you back it up a little bit more, you get yeah, hello, buddy. You get a little bit more of a view there as well. This planter, the flag planter here, I almost want to turn this, but any other way I kind of turn it, it kind of really limits down the amount of room that we get. So this seems to be the best option for now. So, but yeah, as we move on here are our good lord. Here are our two little birds here. There should be three little birds, but there's only two little birds. But yeah, so here's our little birds here, kind of your first animal encounter, and here's Jimbo kind of showing off the birds there. I'm pretty sure Stan Wolf, or maybe others have done this as well, but I see this all the time in zoo reference photos. So yes, while I'm aware that several others have done this idea before, you know, we are all kind of taking from actual zoos. So, you know, actual zoos do that a lot. So, but here's the zoo gifts. Really original name, I know. I'm really good at names, Kappa. And yeah, so if anyone has a better name for this, I know someone in my Twitch chat, instead of Emporium, they said to call it Emu-porium. So like instead of Emporium, it's Emu. Get it? Because okay, so so there's that name, which I chuckled at very much so. But yeah, if anyone else has any other name suggestions, do let me know there. And yeah, here's the interior here. I need to kind of roof off some stuff there, but just little details, nothing much more to do there. Here's some stuff that we're selling in the park. We're very Planet Coaster centric in this park for reasons. Who knows? It's a zoo, but but yeah, again, thanks so much to all the Theme Maker Toolkit creators there for all of these amazing items. So head back out, and you are just across from the carousel here, and your rental stroller and stuff like that rental there. So perfect. Here's your little entranceway to the carousel here. And again, big shout out to Mr. Cleve there. I will definitely have a link to this carousel cover in the description down below. Do be sure to go check this out and check out a lot of his work there. Amazing creator. So very good job on this. That's perfect. So, and then yeah, the last little bit that I just got done doing right before I recorded the voiceover and this live section here was this little bridge that I actually made with my fiance. She loves animals. She was going to be a veterinary. She was going to not be a veterinarian, but a veterinary is like assistant or something like that. Anyways, so I knew she would like this build, and she kind of came back and gave me some pointers, and she said, you know what would be really cool is if you put like a little bridge here where you could have some, I know we can see it there, but some fish. We have these awesome fish from the Theme Maker's Toolkit. And she's like, yeah, why don't you put that there, and then we can build these little, you know, fish food pebble dispensers there. So that's what these are. And this was a lot of fun to build. This is also in the workshop there. No tmtk items or anything. This was all in-game items as far as I know there. But yeah, no, these are the Theme Maker Toolkit fish there, and they, you know, we have a few patches there. You know, this is where people would throw the fish out, so I figured we have a nice little clump of fish there. Then you have a few stragglers hanging out, and then you have another little clump here. This kind of goes off of when I used to go fishing a lot up north in Wisconsin. You know, all the best spots. Maybe not this close to the shore, but you know where all the fallen trees and stuff are and all that. So I'm pretty sure I'm all done with this little area here. Maybe some other little trees and bushes and stuff like that. But overall, I'll try not to move the camera so much. Sorry about that. Yeah, I really like how this area turned out, and big shout out to my fiance Michaela there, because she really came up with a lot of this idea here. She might be helping out a lot in the future, and I'll definitely give her credit when she does help out, because again, she loves zoos, she loves animals, so this is right up her alley. So, but yeah, this kind of leads to a T section here, just to give you an overhead view to kind of see what we're working with here. You know, when you first come into the zoo through your entrance here and you go off this way, this is the road that leads to your exit path, right? So that is kind of, we're kind of getting this all set up for our circle here. But as I alluded to in the time lapse, I'll go ahead and show off. You might have seen it a little bit. My idea here for the first animal exhibit is going to be none other than our amazing friendly giraffes. Yeah, I think I would like to put the giraffe enclosure right at the end of this little T section here. So yeah, I would really like to put that there. So I've been starting to read up on some enclosure files, and you know, kind of taking after, if y'all are watching Uzuri Gardens, but you better be, you know, Mr. John T. Sparrow there has been doing his extensive research on their animal enclosures there. So I would like to, you know, do as much as I can to make my animal enclosures, you know, as real life as I can, kind of thing. So this is a whole new ball game, a whole new area for me. I've never built anything like this. So those of you that are aware of how to do these kind of enclosures, you know, really well, and have some helpful suggestions after you see what I've done, you know, don't hesitate to comment below. Let me know what you think of it. So, but yeah, no, yeah, I'm pretty sure we're all wrapped up there. Yes, we are. So here's a little, oh yeah, I should mention this, I guess. This isn't anywhere near done, but this is the staff parking lot, and we're starting to make some rehabilitation and like training buildings and just facility buildings, because this is a zoo that is going to focus on rehabilitation as well. So, you know, we need to have some actual, you know, almost like veterinary and hospitals and workrooms and just all this stuff, you know, make sure we can make the animals as comfortable, and, you know, like I said, maybe even get some of the animals rehabilitated to go back out into the wild. So I do want to kind of touch on that, but that is, you know, looking on way in the future, if we can get some sort of yeah, just interactive kind of clinics and stuff like that to actually be used in the zoo and stuff. So anyways, I am done rambling for the day. If you've made it this far through my rambles and you haven't already, do be sure to give the video a like. It really does help out the channel a lot, helps to get more exposure overall, so that I always really appreciate that. And if you've made it this far and you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, and you like a lot of building, management, Planet Coaster, you know, theme park games, all that kind of fun stuff, do consider subscribing. We come out with videos pretty regularly there. So yeah, awesome. Hey, thanks so much everyone for hanging out for Green Hills Zoo, and until the next episode there, y'all stay wild. Haha, see, like that's a zoo thing right there. Anyway, anyways, have a good one everyone. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.